here we go. Okay, let's see. This is a test. So here we are. Here we are. I got I'm trying out some new software, so I thought I'd do a quick live stream today to see how everything is going and if the sound is okay and if my mouth is moving the same as you're hearing my words. So if anybody's here, let me know. Let me know what you see and we'll check this out. So I thought I'd do a bit of a stitch with me. So let me switch so that you can see my stocking and we'll get on with that. Here we go. All right. So let's see. Whoops. Sorry about that. Moving things around a little bit here. Okay. Looks like maybe I might have a bit of a lag. Ah, Elizabeth is here. Hello. How are you today? Everything looks and sounds great. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, good, good. I have had a paid subscription for the software that I use for quite some time now. Well, since the very beginning, to tell you the truth. And I was talking to hi Jackie, hi Gail. I was talking to my son-in-law last Sunday actually, and he just bought a PC, and he said, "Why don't you use OBS?" Hi, Maddie, Mad Morty, how are you? He said, "Why don't you use OBS?" He says, "I set that up for the kids, and it's easy and works great." So, well, you know me, something new, how to try it. So I did, and so far, so good. If everything looks good, try to make some fancy pictures here to brighten it up a little bit and put a background and framed out my cameras and framed out the chat and what have you. So we'll see how it goes. So I don't plan on staying on real long because looking outside, it doesn't look too great out there. See if I can turn you. Oh, can't see much anyway. Okay, sorry about that. We're supposed to get thunderstorms and we have a tornado watch. So once the thunderstorms start. So I don't want to stay on too long, but I did want to come on and test this out just to see how it goes. Jackie, you wanted to ask a couple of questions. Ask away. That's why we're here. I will be happy to answer whatever I can for you. Well, hello, Violet Stitcher. How are you today? Oh, I see some new names here. That's pretty cool. It's wonderful. So ask away. I'm happy to answer whatever I can. And this is a little bit, pardon me, I changed my setup to stitch too. So this is a little bit, let me do this so I can see a little bit better. It's a little bit awkward. Hello, Heather. How are you? Glad to see you here. Yeah, I didn't think I'd catch many people because it was really short notice. Really short notice. But you know what? When you're testing out something new, I get a little impatient. just because I want to see how it's going. What software am I using? Morty, I was using for a long, long time, for probably since the beginning of doing streams, I was using Ecamm Live. However, it gets a little expensive. I think if I remember right, I just paid it at the beginning of the year. It was around $200 just for the basic version. And if you wanted the pro version, which gives you all the bells and whistles, it was going to be close to $400 a year. Well, that's a bit pricey if you ask me. So like I said, was talking to my son-in-law on Sunday when we were down, and my grandchildren, who are 7 and 8, wanted to set up their own YouTube and do their own little live streams, their little games that they do. And he bought them for Christmas. They each got a computer, a PC, and he set them up with OBS, the open broadcasting software that's free. So I decided, or he said, why don't you try that? Because it's free and it's really easy. So I thought, well, why not? Why spend that money when I can get something that's free? Yeah, for a casual user, yeah, it's expensive. And, okay, if you're going to do, like, if you're a Twitch person and you're live streaming every day or that kind of thing, yeah, it's fine. But when you're doing once a week or once every other week, or now I have been a little bit more frequent and sometimes as many, 2 times a week, then, it's still on the borderline of, is it worth the money or isn't it worth the money? So I decided to try this. So, hi, Tracy. Okay, let me see here. Oh, Juliana, hello from Brazil. Awesome sauce. Jackie, you're stitching Sapphire 400 by 600 on 16 count Ada. It's massive. I'm thinking I need a stand or frame. What would you recommend? Well, I guess that depends on what you're looking for, or what your comfort level is as far as stitching is concerned. I went the route of scroll frames and I found that they just weren't for me. And I went back to hoops. So it depends. Do you stitch on a hoop? Do you stitch on a scroll? Do you stitch on a Q-snap? Whatever your preference. I found that Q-snaps got a bit heavy for me. I can't hold them for long periods of time. So I, at this point, am using a hoop. And again, that depends on what I'm stitching. If it's something really big, you might want to try a Q-snap, and you can get some of the less expensive stands until you try and see what's going to work for you, because do you want a stand that you sit in front of? Right now, here, I have let's see if I can do this so you can see it a little bit better. It's on my Nerge floor stand. Okay. All right. So that, I can sit at this and I can stitch. For how I have it set up to do this stream, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to stitch on. Okay. If I'm in my recliner chair, I want my stand to come from the side. And there I have a Lowry. I have my Patoki. I thought I was going to get a message that it was shipping this week, but I didn't quite get that yet. But you know what, they're in Ukraine, and with all that's going on over there, you just have to I'm just being very patient, and it will come. And in fact, hi, Candy. Hi, Missy. In fact, I talked to Mikal uh, last week to see how he was doing and were they all safe and were they out of harm's way and all of that stuff. And he asked me to let everybody know that has a Patoki order that you will get your orders. It's just taking them a little bit longer, well, a lot longer than usual because a lot of their workers have gone to war and are out fighting, and that leaves just a limited number of workers in the factory to do the work. But he will make sure you get your order. Gonna take a while. I've been waiting for mine for almost 15 months. So, I do keep in regular touch with him, and that he is the nicest person. So we'll see how I mean, hopefully it's gonna come soon. So, um, hello, Yvonne. How are you? So I would just have to say, try some things. Get yourself an inexpensive frame to try out. Decide, do you want it from the side? Do you want it from the front? If you can handle the Q-snap on a frame for something that big, that might be your best option. If I'm using my Lowry, which I do have back here in my little stitching spot, I might very well put it on a Q-snap. Now, with a Q-snap, because I can't hold it in my hands, I can, but it gets too heavy. I still don't like to make it real big. 11 by 11 is probably the largest I'm going to go. Just because I can't do that anymore. I was doing that reach around thing, stitching one-handed. Since my arm, I have to stitch two-handed because I have to make some adaptations to handle this arm. Oh, let's see. When using my mobile notification you just tap to join. Good. That's wonderful. Maybe this new software is doing the trick because you didn't always get notifications when I was using the eCam. You wear progressives and you're not comfortable trying linen yet, so that's why I chose Ada. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with Ada. As I always say, you do you. Stitch on what you like. Stitch on what is comfortable for you. Don't let anybody shame you into using Ada cloth or for using Ada cloth. A lot of people, their preference is linen, and be that all well and good. But if Ada is your thing and that's what you're comfortable and that's what you like to stitch on, there is nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing. Stitch on what you love. Stitch on what brings you joy. And don't worry about what other people think. My not new philosophy, just reiterating my philosophy, because you know what, folks, there are no rules. The only rules in cross stitch are the rules you make for yourself. Those are the only ones. Nothing else. You can stitch in hand in a hoop and you have a Q-snap. Yeah, they get heavy. Hi, Jackie. Candy, I think I'm going to get a cheap Edmonds. Yes, try it. And it will work with your Nerd hoop. Absolutely, try it. An Edmonds one is not expensive in the grand scheme of things. Candy, you didn't get a notification this time. I'll have to look into that because I don't know. Oh, you guys are too kind. You guys are too kind. 8 to 11, Angela, you do your 8 by 11 in a Q-snap. Yeah. That's probably my preferred size is 8 by 11. because it gives you enough space, and yet it's not too big, and it can fit comfortably. Now, I just had a doctor's appointment. I mean, most of you who are here, I believe, know the stupid thing I did with my arm in picking up my cat. I was back to the doctor today, and he just reiterated what I already knew, is that yes, it probably is a torn tendon, and there really isn't much of anything to do for it. So basically what I am going to do is just make some adaptations. And I found that I can stitch for a reasonable amount of time, not at great length, but for a period of time. If I stitch two-handed and have this arm, my right arm, propped on a pillow, where I can keep it up high enough and don't have it dangling down. And so it's just going to take maybe up to 3 months or better for it to heal. So, you know what? You do what you have to do. And for all you younger people out there, getting old is not for sissies. Oh, just the way it is. So I've been stitching two-handed because that's where the comfort is. I have a hunch that really picking up the cat was just the icing on the cake. I have a hunch that with all the repetitive, over, under, stitching one-handed, you know how it goes, that I was actually fraying that tendon. And picking up the cat was just what caused it to tear. That's just my hunch. So let's see. Do I know how to make Ada cloth soft? Well, Elizabeth, my first suggestion is be careful of the brand of Ada cloth that you buy. Witchelt's fabrics are very stiff this is only my opinion, folks, only my opinion. Only my opinion. I find Witchelt's fabrics to be very stiff and very highly starched. If I am going to buy Hardanger fabric or Ada fabric, I will buy Zweigart. It isn't as heavily starched to begin with, and when you're using it, it softens up rather quickly. I mean, I'm working on, I don't know, let me move this a little bit. Here, this is 20 count Ada cloth by Zweigart, and look how soft and pliable that is. Now, yeah, I scrunch it all up and what have you when I'm stitching on it. So, it softens up very, very quickly. If you have a piece from Witchelt, which, again, my opinion, that stuff is just really, really, really stiff. You can wash it. However, I have found that when you wash it, I don't like how wrinkly it gets. So I would iron it dry, and to iron it dry, the starch just comes back and it gets stiff again. So my best recommendation is just be careful of the brand that you buy. I have no affiliation with either company. That is just my own personal opinion and what I have found over the years. Unless I can't get it in a Zweigart fabric, unless I want something that I really, really want, a certain thing, I usually don't buy anything but Zweigart fabric. Just how I am. Hi, Martina. Okay. I should change this lettering because it's hard to read on my blue background. Rough on the edges. Yeah. Um, yeah, you could sew fabric over it. That would be fine. Um, don't use tape if you don't have to. The only way I would put tape on my fabric is if you can cut it off when you're done, because it leaves a residue, and that residue is going to cause your fabric to deteriorate over time. You know, I again, you can. I'm not going to shame anybody that does it. Personally, I would not, but you know, to each their own, and do what works for you. I can only tell you my opinion and what works for me and what I think. You know, I feel like a tape will leave a residue. If you can cut it off when you're done, I would say fine. Use tape. It's used tape. Even if you use the blue painter's tape or whatever, I would still want to cut that off when I was done. You could zigzag it. You could turn under a bit of a hem and baste a hem all the way around. That might help reduce the scratching. And the other thing is, it is probably going to soften up with use so that it isn't so scratchy. Granted, that takes a little bit. It doesn't happen right away, but you know, so those are some options. Okay. Oops. Let me that chat's getting away. Oh, how do I scroll on? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me open this one and I can see it better. Oh, Heather, you ripped your bicep. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, I feel your pain. Jackie, have you tried surging it? Martina, you have a hot day. It's not cold here today. Well, it's going to get really hot over the weekend here. This rain and storms are coming through now, and now the sun's out. Who'd have thought? This weather's just goofy. Oh, Elizabeth, you didn't know the difference between, and you know what? And that's okay. That's why you ask the questions here. And like I said, if I have the answer, if I know an answer, I'll try. But try Zweigert. I think I'm happier with Zweigert fabric as opposed to Witchell. What's the other one? I think it's R&R. Just switch. Is it R&R? No. Somebody else just switched from what they were using to Zweigert. So I think that really is the preferred. Jennifer Kelly, oh, you guys are so special. So special. My pandemic arrived to Jennifer today, and she's going to work on it. And then did I hear that Hallie is going to get it next? I think that's what Susan told me. So yes, and be sure, those of you that are going to work on it, but at least put your initials on. At least. Yeah. Just because that will make it even more special for me. Yeah. So make sure. Make sure. I can't wait to see pictures of it progressing. I am in the group, and oh, it's so fun to see it, you know, moving along and see how much everybody does. Hello, Rebecca. How are you today? Nicola, hello. It's been a long time. Wow. It's been a real long time. I'm glad you were able to join in today. That's wonderful. And I'm, other than this crazy arm, doing fine. Yes, Elizabeth, the more you work on it, the softer it gets. And yeah, like I said, I just prefer it. Uh, do I have a... Jackie, I'm not sure what link that is that you want. A coffee link? I'm confused. If you're thinking of the buy me a coffee, is that what you're thinking? I do not have a coffee link, but when this video is over, there underneath the video, down where you see the thumbs up, thumbs down, save, whatever, there is a thanks. And you can click on that and do as you wish. Like I said, it's not necessary. It's appreciated, not necessary, but you can, feel free to do as you wish. I don't go out and solicit for those kinds of things. But if people wish to say thanks to me for making videos, that thanks button, it's a little heart in that line where the thumbs up and stuff is. Yeah, you can certainly do it that way. Oh my goodness, hot in Germany. It's going to get hot here this weekend. Jen, you're going to put Susan's initials on too. Good. Hello, Teresa. Martina, my arm is better than it was when I first did it. Oh, yeah. That was enough to bring nasty words when I first did it. Yeah, but it is better. I do still have discomfort depending on how I move it or what I try and do. Nicola, what I did is I tore my bicep, the tendon in my bicep. My repetitive motion of stitching, which you're not going to get me to stop, probably caused it to fray. And when I picked up the cat, it tore. It brought many words I can't say on here. So, but it is better. I don't have as much discomfort. It just depends on what I do when I, in using that arm. My shoulder is probably where most of the discomfort is now. But I was back to the doctor today, and he said that if I would have said to him my pain today is the same as my pain was when I did this a little over 2 weeks ago, then he would have a different recommendation. But since it has improved and my pain is dependent upon what I do, for now we're just going to watch it, and hopefully it will heal on its own. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it will heal on its own. That it's probably going to take at least 3 months for that to happen. So what I'm doing is just making some changes in the way I stitch. And I was going to stitch today, but yeah, I probably won't. I probably will just be chatting here for a little bit. Because what I now stitch all the time two-handed instead of just when I feel like it. And I am trying to teach myself to switch hands. Normally, when I do two-handed, my dominant hand, which is my right hand, which is the arm I hurt, is on the bottom, and my left hand, non-dominant, is on the top because it needs supervision. It doesn't behave without my eyes watching it. However, that gets tiring, so I'm trying to develop the muscle memory to switch hands. and put my right hand on the top and my left hand underneath. But my left hand has a mind of its own. So, but I'm trying so that I can at least be ambidextrous in stitching and be able to switch it up. When my right arm bothers me, I can switch and use my left, and we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Here's what it is. Is what it is, and that's why I say getting old ain't for sissies. But you learn to adapt and to find some other ways to do the things you like to do. So I would be lost. Okay, let's see here. I answered what happened. I just want to help you. Oh, Jackie, that's so kind of you. Oh, I do appreciate it. I really do. I really do. Like I said, I don't go out and solicit for it. I don't say, oh, you need to donate or whatever. But if you feel that that's what you would like to do, that's wonderful, and I do appreciate it very, very much. You know, people don't always realize everything that it takes to make these videos. It takes a lot of time. Live chats, probably not as much. But till you come up with something that you're going to talk about, that takes time. Till you prepare, like if you're going to show your works in progress, it takes time. Till you make the video, and till you edit the video, and till I bought a new computer to do this. So it takes some finances to do that. So, like I said, I do appreciate it, although I'm not gonna you probably will not hear another word about it from me because I just don't. But thank you, Jackie. Okay, who makes easy count? The 25 count with the red on it is Zweigert. No. That's not right. The 25 count with the red markings every 20 threads is Witchold. The gray, any of the counts that have the gray lines on them, those are Zweigert. And I always get confused whether it's easy count or easy grid. But the ones with the gray lines on them are Zweigert. Those are the only ones that I will buy. Again, personal choice. And to tell you the truth, because it's a little bit cheaper to buy non-gridded, I don't mind using my chalk pencil, which you can see the little green lines on here. I don't mind using that and gridding it myself, because I don't grid the whole thing. I just grid as I go. So, I went back to stitching diagonally with this, and I just grid as I go, what I need at the time. And, when I feel what's gridded, then I'll do a little bit more. So it's really, to me, not that big a deal. And to buy the fabric that's not gridded is a little bit cheaper. Sounds like super painful, those pesky cats. Oh, yeah, it brought some, Martina, you're right, colorful language. Very colorful. It was. I will admit. Normally, you don't hear that from me, especially on here, but oh, you would have that day. Yes, hopefully it'll heal on its own, Teresa. I hope so. Yes, I do. I do move. Yeah, try and move my light to the other side too, because yeah, it gives you the shadow if you don't. And then that messes with your head of where your needle's going or not going. Juanita, oh, glad to see you live today. You've missed, oh, I miss all of you guys too when I don't do these videos very often. You know what? I can't, it's like I'm sitting here talking to a bunch of friends, even though there's nobody right here around me. You are all here, every last one of you. Okay, Candy, you have the gray one. That's the one you want. Teresa, you don't grid at all. Do you know what? I never used to grid until I started doing these heaven and earth designs. And now I think I got overly dependent on them, on that grid. If I'm doing something that isn't full coverage, I won't grid. I'll count. But if I'm doing something full coverage, I still count, but the grid is a point of reference for me. So yeah, but I get it. I get it. And I know there's quite a few people that don't grid for their heaven and earth or their full coverage ones. And that's great. And I think that all depends too on your method of stitching. You know, if you're going to do, I would never do extreme cross country without a grid, in all honesty, because I can mess that up enough with a grid. But if I'm in a limited area, I don't really have to grid, and I use it more just for a reference point to kind of keep myself on track. Oh, Jackie, you're just too kind. And Martina, each day you learn new words or expressions. Ain't that the truth? Do you watch Ilanka? Stitch Ilanka? She has a segment on her videos of where she talks about expressions in different languages, and it's a fun thing to listen to. I enjoy her videos very, very much. Yeah, she's something else. Oh, Morty, you get it, don't you? Videos, they just, yeah, they eat up a lot of time. But that's okay. I mean, it's okay. I don't mind. I mean, I wouldn't do them if I minded. And you know what? It's fun. It's fun to do them. At this point, I would miss not doing them. Just how it is. Ever since you got Teresa, ever since I got the diagonal method down, I don't get lost. And you know what? That's so very true. Now, I am stitching diagonal, but I'm kind of completing a color, or at least a section of just that color. And I don't get lost on it either. I know I can tell right exactly where I am. Parking for me comes and goes. Some days I don't mind parking, and 2 days later, those hanging threads drive me nuts. What can I say? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Whatever works. You just do what works. You do you. I can't say that. I just can't say that enough. Ever since you go. Hi, Norma. Stocking is really, oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm just about 40% finished. So I wanted to get 2 done this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. If I get 1 done this year and 1 done next year, so my daughters will be this year, and my son-in-law's I'll do next year, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I just need a little variety. I get tired of when I did Stitcher's Retreat, I could work on Stitcher's Retreat all the time because I really, really, really wanted that done. And I was on a mission. I'm on a mission with these stockings, but it isn't to the same severity. It's not to, I want to get them done, but if it doesn't happen this year, that's okay. Because, I'm finding I don't like a time constraint, because then it feels more like a job. This isn't a job. I did my job for more years than I care to count, and this is pleasure. So I don't want it to feel like a job. So they'll get done when they get done. That's my new take on things. Morty, you just did 20 minutes for non-stitching and it took the better part of 3 days. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know what? And I'm bad. I'm naughty. A lot of times what you get is what you get. I don't do a lot of editing. Real life, my friends, real life. And if I have a blooper, you know what? We have a blooper. It's the way it is. Oh. There's no heart underneath yours, Juanita? It might not be there until this video posts. It won't be there until this video goes up, because right now this is live. So it might not show up yet. If it doesn't show up for you after we're done chit-chatting here, drop me a message or an email or put it in the comments, and I'll look into it and find out why it's not there. Oh, complete techno dunce. So I record mine and then pass it to the husband. Yeah, well, you know what that would be like here. I have a husband who hands me a phone and says, "Can you put this person's phone number in for me?" He has only just gotten a smartphone in the last maybe year and a half, 2 years at best. And he's still learning, because the thing is, he really doesn't want to know how to do it. He really doesn't want to know. So the more he can hand off and say, "Here, do this for me," the more he likes it. Some days hanging threads are a pest. You're right. I get some of the silicone bobbins and keep it on. Yeah, you know what, Teresa? I use those too, and they annoy me too. Oh, that's terrible. I'm so fickle sometimes. Oh, Elizabeth, you used to do videos. Oh, you should pick it back up again. Absolutely. If you have the time, you should pick it back up again. It's fun. Oh, Yvonne, do I like stitching with silks? Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Yes. And I'll tell you, the silks I like the absolute best are Vicki Clayton's. Her silks are amazing, amazing. Now, I did have some of Ymir's, and I had the very, very fine ones before I ran into this blurry vision issue when I stitched too long on a low count. So I did have some of Ymir's, but I did not, I really didn't use them. Ymir is Almond M&M, by the way, for those that don't know. Her silks are also very, very nice, and they're very, very thin if you like tiny stitches. And I know there's quite a few of you out there that do like tiny stitches. Kaylee Cross Stitch is doing her best in promoting tiny stitches these days. So if you don't watch her and you're interested in stitching tiny, go check her out, Kaylee Cross Stitch. But yes, I love stitching with silks. It's like putting a hot knife through butter. It's just wonderful. Violet Stitcher, you had to buy a new computer too. Yeah. Yeah, I bought, I was using a MacBook Pro to do my videos and my streaming. And as some of you who have been around for a while know, that I was having trouble. I would drop off unexpectedly. The laptop would show 0 battery and it would just cut me off, and it was more hassle than it was worth. So this was before the 2022 Mac Minis came out. I bought the M1 Mac Mini, and since then I have had absolutely no troubles. I've been streaming with that now for, when did I get it? Maybe 2 months ago? A little bit, maybe a little bit longer. But I've been using that and I am very, very happy with it. And yeah, I don't drop off. The other thing that would happen is the usage of the processor would be way, way up, and that was the other thing that would cut me off. And with this, I'm not having any of those troubles. In fact, let me see. Yeah, I'm only using 20% of my CPU, which before I was using 80 or 90% on the laptop. So this is wonderful. I am more than happy with it. Oh, Teresa, you need to try. You need to try those silks from Vicky. They're awesome. They are. Violet, you bought a Mac Mini too. Yeah, I really like and it's nice and little and compact, and you don't have this big hour thing sitting on your desk. It's wonderful. If only I could find a better way to manage all the cords that you need. Because you have the cords from the monitor, you have the cords from the Mini, you have the cords to the camera, you have the cords to your microphone, you have the cords to my iPhone, you have the cord to my keyboard. You got cords all over the place. I tried to gather them up, but I make a mess of that too. What can I say? This old helmet. Oh, that's a new name. Yeah. We're just going to pass that one right on. Yeah. So anyway, I was going to stitch today, but I don't think I am at this moment in time. But like I said, I just wanted to come on and give a live stream a try. And see how it, and see how it goes. So the sound is okay. I don't think I have much of a lag, if any. I should have. Thanks for hanging out, Elizabeth. I appreciate it. I'm glad. Let me see. Drop. No, I don't have any drop frames, so I think I'm good. I don't think I have a lag. So that's wonderful. Yes, I'm glad you came to hang out. I think what I will do is just call this one a quick hello, how are you? And testing out new software. And I will schedule another live stream next week. Oh, maybe over the weekend. I don't think we're doing anything over the weekend. The sound is great and you like the 3 windows. Yeah. Yeah. That's the other nice thing with this OBS software. I can put different profiles in it. I call them profiles, I think, or scene collections. And I can make the scenes all different. And I have a couple different ones that I downloaded. So you might see some different ones. Actually, watch this. Find my mouse. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is. Watch this, how it changes. Let's go to a full screen. Isn't that cool beans? It takes the chat away. So I'll go back. But yeah. There we go. Oh, is that not cool or what? That is awesome. See, now it took the chat away. Everything that was there until we're back again. So yeah. I'm happy with it. So I think I just might have saved myself a few dollars. Because I think what I'm going to do is discontinue my subscription to Ecamm Live, and we're going to keep using OBS. Yeah, isn't it fancy? It's cool. Now, there's still things I have to learn, so you guys got to bear with me here until I get everything under my belt. So, okay. So with that, my friends, I think I'm going to say goodbye for today. And thanks, everybody, for stopping by and hanging out for a little bit. And I'm going to play with setting up some more scenes on here and maybe doing this a little different. Yeah. Oh, you know me, LG. I think that's how you say your name, LG. I love to try out new things. Oh, Heather, you're going camping. Good for you. Good for you. Have a great time. Have a great time. All of you, have a very wonderful weekend. And stitch. Take your stitching with you camping or wherever. And just remember, you do you. There's no rules in cross stitch. The only rules are the rules you make for yourself. So with that, I will see you guys all next time. Have a great weekend and take care. I gotta find I can't find it.